A cell is a highly dynamic system. Many processes are occurring simultaneously, and then there is the pressure to maintain homeostasis too. The budgeting of resources is also there. The resources must not go waste. So a cell makes decision at every moment whether to make a protein, whether to slow down its synthesis, to increase its production, or to stop production altogether. Now, since these processes are occurring in continuity, these choices are also made at different stages of gene expression, that is, at different stages of polypeptide synthesis. How a cell ensures these choices, the strategy or the technique it uses is known as regulation of gene expression. Regulation can be done at several stages. Some of these stages at which regulation is done, some of the levels in eukaryotes are the transcription level, that is formation of primary transcript. That is when the heterogeneous RNA is being transcribed from DNA. The processing level, that is regulation of splicing. Transport of messenger RNA, that is when messenger RNA moves from nucleus to cytoplasm. And finally at the translation level, that is at the final stage of protein synthesis. One of the key factors determining needs of cell is its environment. Supposing there is a bacteria, E. coli, which makes the enzyme beta-galactosidase. This enzyme catalyzes the hydrolysis of lactose, which is a disaccharide. Now this lactose breaks into glucose and galactose. The bacteria uses them as a source of energy. But all this happens on the assumption that lactose is available to the bacteria in its environment. Supposing lactose is not there in its environment, then beta-galactosidase will not be required, and then the cell will have to stop the synthesis of the polypeptides that form beta-galactosidase, or the expression of the gene that is controlling the expression of beta-galactosidase will be stopped. In this lesson, we will be focusing on regulation in prokaryotes. And in prokaryotes, the level at which regulation occurs mostly is transcription initiation. That is, they are regulatory proteins that interfere with how RNA polymerase acts during the initiation of transcription, how it interacts with the proteins that help in initiation of RNA synthesis. The regulatory protein act in two ways, positively or negatively. Positive regulators are known as activators and negative regulators are repressors. Before we proceed, remember, both of these are proteins and both of them bind to DNA so that RNA polymerase is interrupted and it is not able to transcribe the DNA. So no mRNA is formed and no polypeptide synthesis will take place. But their mode of action is different. Activators, as the name suggests, increases the level of gene expression when a polypeptide is required by the cell, and repressors stop gene expression. Now, where are the promoters and operators? Promoter is present at the 5' end of transcription unit and operator is present next to the promoter. Your RNA polymerase binds to promoter to initiate protein synthesis, but the regulatory protein binds to operator. Also, operators are present only in prokaryotes, but promoters are present in both prokaryotes and eukaryotes. The characteristic feature of prokaryotes is a missing nuclear membrane, which means that DNA is directly there in touch with cytoplasm. So RNA being transcribed can simultaneously be used for translation. There is no clear demarcation in site of transcription and site of translation. Then there are no post-transcriptional modifications such as splicing, capping, tailing. So the best stage at which to regulate gene expression in prokaryotes is the transcriptional stage. Let's see how this occurs through an example of a transcription unit that codes for beta-galactosidase, that is the lac operon. Besides the lac operon, we also have trip operon, ARA operon, his operon, val operon, etc. in bacteria. Lac operon was the first operon to be discovered. The scientists responsible were Jacob and Monod. Here, lac means lactose. Now, in prokaryotes, we have polycistronic structural gene, which means many genes are controlled by a common promoter, and these genes are present contiguously. This arrangement is known as operon. Now the lac operon. It has three structural genes, Z, Y and A. Z codes for beta-galactosidase, which converts the lactose disaccharide into galactose and glucose. So it catalyzes a hydrolysis reaction. The Y codes for permease. It increases permeability of cell to beta-galactosides. The A gene codes for trans-acetylase, which is responsible for transfer of acetyl group. Now these genes are arranged in a contiguous manner. Let's see how. The beta-galactosidase enzyme, as we just saw, is required for the hydrolysis of lactose. So this will be required only when lactose is available in the medium. Otherwise, this gene need not be transcribed. So normally, a repressor goes and binds at the operon, and this blocks the movement of RNA polymerase. RNA polymerase binds here at the promoter. Now this repressor is synthesized constitutively, that is all the time in the cell from the I gene. In absence of lactose, this repressor made by the I gene binds at the operon. Lactose, interestingly, is also the inducer. How? We'll just see. Lactose or the inducer is present. The lactose itself goes and binds with the repressor, as you can see here. Now, the RNA polymerase, which is present here at the promoter, can go on uninterrupted, and the expression of Z, Y and A takes place. All these three genes are transcribed, the enzymes are formed, and lactose can be used for energy production. Now, one very important question. Permease here is responsible for the transport of lactose across cell membrane, and synthesis of permease requires lactose. So one cannot occur without the other already having occurred. If lactose is present, then only permease will be synthesized. Permease allows entry of lactose, so lactose will be able to enter the cell only when permease is present. So what occurs first? How is the inducer lactose made available for permease synthesis? Remember, a very low level of expression of lac-operon has to be present in the cell at all the time. Otherwise, lactose will not be able to enter the cell. It will not be able to act as inducer, and these enzymes will not be synthesized. So a small amount of lactose will always be present in the cell because a small amount of permease is always synthesized in the cell. This kind of regulation of lac-operon by repressor is known as negative regulation. That is, in absence of lactose, gene expression is stopped. Lac-operon also shows positive regulation. When lactose alone is present as energy source, that is, glucose is absent, a regulatory factor or CAP cyclic AMP complex binds and allows the expression of gene. With this, we come to the end of regulation of gene expression. These are your questions based on lac-operon.